Hi guys! Today we're going to dive deeper into storyboarding and focus on the different ways you can create one. We'll look at some traditional and more digitalized approaches, ones that work better for visual thinkers, others that suit more text-oriented people, and a few tools to help along the way. Let's first talk about why do we need to create storyboards. A storyboard helps you visualize your multimodal project before you actually start producing, or in our case, filming it. This is crucial because editing and making big changes in videos is much more difficult than editing a written assignment. You can think of a storyboard as the outline of your video, just like an outline organizes your ideas in writing. A storyboard organizes your scenes and helps you figure out the best way to express your ideas in your final project. So what should you actually include in your storyboard? First, the action. This is a description of what's happening on the screen. It could be interactions between characters, events, dialogues, or even the surroundings. Second, the video or camera techniques. Note things like camera angles, movements, or transitions that you plan to use for that scene. And finally, the commentary, a short explanation of why you chose those specific techniques and what effect they create for your audience. Now we can talk about the different types of storyboards you can create, depending on your own preferences and convenience. Some people prefer a more visual approach, others lean toward textual storyboards, and there are plenty of options you can experiment with. Let's go through them one by one. One of the easiest ways to storyboard is on paper. You can basically do this in any way you like, and you definitely don't have to be an artist to do that. If you're more comfortable with a visual approach, you might sketch each scene quickly, just simple drawings that show movement, framing, or camera angle. I would suggest adding a short note underneath each sketch to explain the action or some emotion you want to capture. If you prefer a more textual approach though, you might want to make use of such a template and fill the frames with short but detailed notes instead. Dialogue, action, camera techniques, sound effects, or anything else that helps clarify your scene. This template can be found on your Moodle. You can also use digital tools, which give you a lot more flexibility when it comes to editing and updating your storyboard. Let me show you a few free options you can try. Canva has plenty of drag and drop templates that let you combine images, text, and shapes. It's very user-friendly, especially if you like customizing layouts. Next, we have Storyboard That. Storyboard That is a website with ready-made characters, props, and backgrounds. It's especially useful for visual thinkers who want to create scenes quickly without needing to draw. Boards is an AI-assisted tool. You can paste in your script here and it will automatically generate a storyboard draft for you to edit. It's a faster way to see your script in visual form. And of course, if you prefer traditional methods, but still want to work digitally, you can always use Google Docs or spreadsheets, for example. They're simple, collaborative, and can be adapted into a storyboard format pretty easily. As you've noticed, there are two main types of storyboards you can create, a more visual and a more textual one. Let's take a closer look. If you're more of a visual thinker, maybe you're an artist, a designer, or just someone who feels comfortable working with images, you can create a visual storyboard by, again, sketching each scene, or by using reference pictures to show how your scenes might look. But if you lean more toward a textual approach, you can build your storyboard mostly with words. Just make sure to describe each visual element clearly so it makes sense both to you and your peers. For example, here's a textual storyboard from Professor Brock. He includes three main components: action, video, and commentary, and describes everything fully in text instead of through drawings. You can also combine both styles and use a hybrid approach. If we look at this example storyboard, we will notice it mixes everything together. Reference images to show how the scene should look, sections for camera angles and movement, even notes on subjects and objects, plus commentary that explains what the creators want to express with those specific techniques. This combination makes the storyboard easy to understand for both visually oriented and text-oriented people. There's no one correct way to storyboard. The goal is to make your story clear before you create it, so experiment with both paper and digital methods, try visual and textual approaches, and figure out what works best for you. Thank you for your attention.